All right. Okay, let's do this, guys. All right, so on the last section of this document, all right, on the last section of this document, so this should be a very short session today. So remember, between now and the exam next week, Friday, you're all to do those 31 papers. All right, you have to do those 31 papers. I'm going to be sending them into the group. I want to do all 31 papers. All right. We're not gonna have in a class. We're not gonna have in a direct class between now and Tuesday because I'm gonna be having classes with the AdMath and the PureMath students. Their exam is Monday and Tuesday, so you're gonna be Tuesday Wednesday into the group, and you have to keep practicing. While I'm inside here with the AdMath and the PureMath students, you can be over that room. Exams you guys have like before Friday next week. How many exams before? How many? Are you? Maths is the absolute last exam. Everybody. Let's do it. So you guys can go home early today. I said my fear that when I let you out, so I might actually what I wanted to do. But I have to give someone. It says under this transformation point is, so basically you're adding twice. Remember how it goes, is that translation matrix to it, which is 2, -3. All right. So the same thing again. 2, 3. All right. So the same thing again. 2, 3, 7, 3, 7, 6 is this point right here. 10, 6 is this point right here. The image of this point under this translation. What you say? Huh? You don't see what it can be? You don't see what it can be? So it is a tree, and you're moving it by, and you add the translation to it. That's a position vector, that's the coordinates. This hold on. The image of what translations? Anybody else? Adding a translation. It's working now. So you have to subtract this over here. So now -5, -4, becomes -6, -6.
Oh, you
becomes -6, -6.
Oh, you get negative.
-5, checkpoint and the image point, the translation. -5, -4. And so that's how I get my translation. Next one. P prime, Q prime, R prime. What transformation? So on one exam paper, they set it like this. On another exam paper, they set good. I can PQR on this one is this way. Reflection in a line. Reverse.
For this before you went into this?
Yeah. No, just started. All right.
Traffic here, me never get it in the get-go. Please.
Oh. This one says E is the image of line B after A. So this one, these transformations. This. Yeah. All right. This one says a translation. This one says a reflection in X axis. Not this one, right? Because translation, there's no change. Right? All that happens in the same way. So it cannot be a translation. So this one is out. Now, I would say it is this one. You can see that this point in the mirror line, same distance here, same distance to the image point over here. It's not a 90-degree rotation. In the first direction, this can be taken as an anti-clockwise rotation, right? Because they didn't say clockwise or anti-clockwise. It's anti-clockwise rotation. Let's on to here. And this point, this way 90 degrees. I'm not measuring it. Look more than 90 degrees. 0.90 degrees. Pay attention now. In this L that takes it to the point. So if you rotate that L, and this repeater on the end of the point would go. If you that's where it would have been. It would look like a 90 degree. But understand that. So that's why I'm beautiful. So not this one. Over here. So what is the image of the line? Y equals X. When it is wrote about the origin, should this 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So in other words, look at it. 90 degrees this way. So the question is, what is the equation of that blue line? This is the equation of that blue line. Which one of these is the equation of that blue line?
C.
Answer.
All right, let's talk about it. Y equals 0. Is Y equals X. So another line cannot be Y equals X. Line is Y equals minus X. Because a point here, for example, put on some coordinates on it, Y value is -2. Same value, but opposite signs. That's how the points on the line Y equals minus X go. -3. That's how the points on this line go. The X value positive, the Y value X. It means that it passes through points where the X and the Y value is the same. And maybe down here be same value, AA. Pass through points and Y equals X.
The two that you have, there would be 2.
So it's like
Okay. Yes, done.
2 this way, but it's the same. Y equals X. So that's all that. But I just digress to talk about those particular lines. One for me now. This one says, what equals minus X? What's the image of 80 degrees? So I'm going to take that line here now and rotate it 90 gonna get. Which of these lines am I gonna get now? Which one? Y equals X.
C, sir.
See that? It's gonna come to there. If you rotate this 90, you're gonna get the line Y equals X. So 60 do sometimes. It's gonna just make some much swap. When I finish this class early today, I don't have a lot of discuss. In the diagram, this is one. What translation? Which one of these is the answer? Which one of them is the answer? 1 point, for example, look at it. Value increase by 2 and start with a 2. And why this is a translation. So that is it. 2 to the right. All right. In the diagram, translation now which maps A is another translation. Look at it. 1 point. Don't try to figure out the family. Huh? Some negative on this. It's negative, it's negative, and this negative. Something like that. Look at it, you're going from this over to that. Huh? Look at the -3, take it from this to this. Anybody else? Huh? Huh? You say 5, 3. Write out the options. -5, 3 is one option. 3 is another option. You can't understand how people get something like this wrong. Cannot understand how somebody gets it. What people I'm talking about is not human. I'm talking about people who should understand it. Should understand it. Answer which one?
The last, sir.
Yes. Huh? You say all around over there. So you're going from this point to this point, you're gonna have to go horizontally to the negative. I don't want to hear nothing from you. We have to put up your hand for now. Horizontal. Then you're gonna go up positive. How many units to the left is? That's 5. -3. See it here? One of them things are too easy, man. This is supposed to get to know. Then the thing gonna just apply to them. Then hold on there. When you do So, when I get
Sir.
these questions are on every paper. Wrong answer, check it over. So we do a session like this, no one knows so service. I'm telling you, you don't know, say, I was up and paper to them. And then you baby something I get to know. This one to this one. What would it be? One of them good. Got to go from this point to exit. When you learn something, you start to forget it. If you start to focus on it, make it sticking on the brain. When you start talking about other things, how can other things same time and just go right? Because this is like ridiculously simple. When you rise down, the rise is the same thing. Translation is almost like rise. From this one to this one, you look what happened to this case. I could maybe look from C to C prime. Look how I go from C. Because CSEC will change it, you know, and that's how it be different. So what would be the horizontal component? Down it negative. Simple as that. So from this point to this point, from this point to this point, horizontally, I have 5 units to the right I have to go. And that's a positive, it would become a positive 5. I would have to go downwards, negative vertical movement. You should not spend no time on a question like this. Oh boy. Ridiculous. That's I don't know up to you kids all around. I don't guys do. Hey. So these are Australians. Clearly it's an enlargement in the guys. You can see that in them. I wrote it's an enlargement because there's a change in size in this one. Huh? No. So for example, C to A pointing up on the image, if the scale factor was negative, they were positive first. Additionally, of the center. If the scale factor was negative and they were positive scale factor. Now what is the value of the scale factor? And so what multiple the image, the corresponding image is 2 units. That a multiplier of scale factor. That is an enlargement of scale factor. As you know, foolishness no. Like I have a teacher over here. Don't put negative to that wrong. If there was, it went from this over to here. Want to tell me now, what if the transformation and this is the image? In this come this way and then change the letter. So for example, so for the scale factor coming this way. What would it be? Positive half. You're multiplying by a half. You're half the size. From the center of the enlargement. It's doubled. It's doubled out from the center of the. All right? But look out for them set a question with the scale factor is negative. Similar triangles. Similar triangles are triangle size. Sorry, the same triangle size are equal, but also have the square of corresponding side. No confidence. Gone. So they're asking you, what is the side of M plus, you know, what this is into 3. So if this side which was 6, what will this 7 change to? The asking for of corresponding sides is the same. Right? Equals this side. What is the area? EC. What do I ask for that question? Area of MO. This means area. This means C. What will be the answer? The ratio of the area. This is the. What's a youngster? Huh? Honestly, what about that come from? What's the answer for this one? Just said it a while ago. The ratio of similar triangles is equal to the root of the square of corresponding sides. Ratio of the square of corresponding sides. What are the sides and this on the diagram right now that you know are the 2 corresponding sides that they gave us. And this one going on top, 3 squared. And you square it. 6 squared. The ratio of this area is equal. Sister, even don't know that. Since the area one, ABC, that one here. This one is there. But see there? We know what question was CSEC will say. C1. This one is 20. Let's put it on it. 20 centimeters square. Must have a pretty the question. Huh? This is a person on 10. This is a person on 10. The ratio of the air is seriously. Let's call that one an A. A there. Equal the. So aside on this one is 3. This one is 6. Your square. 20 of the area. The area under here, so 20. So become a quarter. Yeah, because this work out to become 9 over 36 becomes a quarter. So a quarter time. What another way you could work it out? Another way you could work it out is this. Look. Call the height h. Half base times 6 times h. This is 3. And so the h. Then because this side is, don't it? No, sir. So this height will become half 8 and this side is half of h. Good? This area would be equal to this base of 3 and the h is this 20 over 3. It becomes half of 20. So the area becomes 5 same way. The half and a half give you a quarter. Quarter of 20 is out. But if you know this is the reach of the square part on the side, is it? And size 5. Don't know. It's not getting in a bit. This question says, it shows rectangle WXY1, double prime X double goes a composite double transform. And then to that. That's where you go, right? Let's look at them now. Which one go first? You go to this first, right? And to this one, right?
Yes.
That's a double transformation. Question says, instead of transformation, we map transformation. So in other words, they're asking us which two transformations. Is this transformation? This is the first one. What are the two transformations? Look at it now. What is the first one? Reflection in what? You can't just say reflection. And then now from the second one, an enlargement of y negative can be a value of 2. A value of 2 is when the thing gets bigger. The negative only has to do with negative in enlargement is about. The value of size change. The multiplier of 2. Can't be 2 because the thing gets smaller. So it can't be 2. It also is not negation, it's not orientation. Negative. This is not inverted. Oh, no, it's not inverted. And pointing in this way, see there? W to X is still that way. So the image and the pointing in the same direction. Smaller. Yet smaller by a half. So it's a scale factor of a half. And the only other know if they want that. But the center of the line, how could you draw lines to the cross where they meet? So for example, we could go X to X prime, somewhere here, so don't it? And Y to so that maybe is the origin. It's the origin. See there? Scale factor half. Then an enlargement of scale factor half about the origin. Hey, outside the map. Let's see which one. A translation, no translation here. So this one out. Then y-axis followed by an enlargement centered origin is answer. This one said a counterclockwise rotation. The origin scale factor half followed by a rotation. No, this one is not it either. All right. But next one. So let's see what this says. So OPQ is mapped onto O. We're going from this up to that, right? What are the components of the rotation? OQ was horizontal and OQ is now vertical. It up this way. So the prime on this, so the rotation is this way. So the anti-clockwise rotation about the origin, right? Alright. Look at this now. This one says a rotation negative 90 clockwise, which is wrong, right? This one's so wrong. A reflection in the origin is the same. A reflection in the origin is the same as a 180 degree the origin. So the question is, and this one is not it either, right? Because remember, when you reflecting line where it was X, flip around to be A, right? You know the better. So this is 2. One is a 90-degree rotation, one is a 90-degree rotation. What's the difference?
B, you're leaving from
So what you have was, right? You're going from this, right? Anti-clockwise. And we have to remember anti-clockwise rotation is negative. So this is anti-clockwise, and so it is positive. V plus BE means positive, right? So the answer is not this. This one means clockwise. And this one means positive is the answer.
anti-positive.
Yeah. Everywhere in maths, in every level of maths, is positive. This one now. This question says, shows a reflection in the x-axis. Now I've seen them on a paper. And instead of saying x-axis, it's a line which is still the x-axis. The line y equals 0. So they're really the same reflection in the x-axis. Which are them? This one of them is a reflection x-axis. Let's look at them. Right, this is the x-axis, and reflect A. That's not it. This is actually a reflection to the origin, 180-degree rotation about the origin, don't it? This will be a 180-degree rotation about the origin, not it? To the origin. This one no. Okay, this is the x-axis. Reflected through gonna come down here, so don't it? Which one is this? So this one is not it either. What about this? It's gonna come right here. What transformation is this one? Looking at a clockwise point that L to the point has beated. So this horizontal piece is now across here. See that? Clockwise 90-degree rotation about the origin. This is the answer clearly, right? All right. Same question here. So, see, I tell you, y-axis now. In each of the following, OA, it can go sorting the question. So it says, which is a reflection in the y-axis. Instead of saying y line x equals 0 is still, so now they want a reflection in the y-axis. It's a reflection in the x-axis, don't it? Now, memorize the question and think it's the same question. You might mark this one, don't it? Depending on memorizing questions. This one, is that it? Yes, you're reflecting the y-axis. So this is the answer. This one is our. This one a clockwise 90-degree rotation about the origin right here, don't it? And this one is as a 180-degree rotation about the origin, or a reflection through the. That's what that one is. So the answer is this one up here. Y-axis reflection. What is it? Oh, this is something there. This question says, oh, is the center of a circle.
Angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference.
So therefore, angle-wise, good. About good? All right. Another one here. This one says LM and M equal in length. This clearly is a diameter. Oh no, that's a diameter. I pass through the center. What is the size of angle alpha right here? What is that angle alpha equal to? This one. 40. Now let's see why it is 45 degrees.
Angle to the semicircle.
By a diameter is 90 degrees. Like the something by a diameter. This side and this side equal means that these two angles equal. So if this is, then them two must add up to 90, you know so?
Yes.
Alpha plus alpha equals 90, 90. And so alpha must be 45 degrees, right? All right, good. So the answer for this one is right. Next one, down here. What's this diagram? It said in the diagram, PQ and RS are parallel. These are
Equal y because they're opposite.
So you come along one of the parts, go down the transversal line, and you continue along the other angles, which are equal, like Z angles. So X equals Y. What do you go to that? Let me ask you a question now. Let's put a little change on the question, like say, suppose this X wasn't here, but instead it was here. Let's put some other place. What will be the relationship? Suppose X was there, what will be the relationship between them?
Opposite angle, something of that sort.
There will be co-interior relationship between co-interior angles.
Oh, they add up to 180. Okay.
This one we call them Z angles a while ago. It look like a Z. We call them U angles. Need to be in the bottom of this U, like a form a U around. And these two angles are co-interior, and they add up to 180 degrees. Co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. All right, answer if they give. So if they give you this in the exam, this is the answer, right? Which they can give you. All right, let's go one. What if this angle was instead of here? What would be the relationship between them? Is that what would be the relationship between those two angles again?
They still would have been equal.
Very much. I usually come to class. Thank you very much. So I usually come to class. They will be equal. There will be corresponding angles. Look, when you and they are connected with a transversal line. This line is the angle, or the angle that this red line makes with this blue line, the same angle with this blue line up here. Because in this angle with it up here, it makes it here. They are called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. All right, talk to me. This was the X over here, so now. What will be the relation?
Wait, interior. Opposite interior, something like that.
All right, so what will happen? Anybody else in here at it? What will be the relationship between those two angles? Huh? No, they wouldn't be equal. It can't be that when them here say them equal and then when the over here say them equal too. That was the angle up here, so right? Then the angle here and the angle here will be the same, no? And then you would have total angle on a straight line right here is 180. 80. See that? So up here, then X plus Y by 180. All right. Well, that's the original question. Huh? Equal 180. All right. This got the same thing. P and Q, what's the relation? The same question, you know, the X and Y and 1. You see that? So it's P equal Q again, right? Over here. See, you know. In that triangle, what's the value of X? This triangle. 120. These two lines mean that they are, so that's an isosceles triangle. So how it goes that the angle the side matches the angle opposite that side because they're equal, right? So these two angles equal now. So this angle is also 30 degrees. Good. So total 180 degrees minus 2 degrees, right? Which is 60. So it's 120 degrees. Down here, same question. It says in a triangle PQR, P is X degrees, 2X degrees. What is side of R? What's angle R? Sorry. What's the side of angle R? If it's a triangle and the other angle is 2X, what is the other angle equal to? In a triangle. We answer them on the paper, you say, you know. So answer them right here upon the paper, which one of them is the right answer? Huh? Oh, you get 45, but you don't know X and you don't know X.
60 to the 60 degrees.
Oh, you don't know what X is. Nobody knows what X is. So you're going to know the actual angle of the next one.
We tell us 2x plus x, that is 3x, divide by 180 because angles in a triangle adds up to 180. That's what I did to get this.
These are only two of the angles in the triangle, the third one. Those are only two of the question is asking for the third one.
2x plus x by 180. So the other angle will be 60. That's what I did. I don't know.
It will be 2x plus x. Make it smaller. The angles will be 2x. So would be equal to 180 degrees. So that one angle is 2x, right? The other angle is x. The other one you don't know, so you call it r. See, what is angle r? The three of them add up to 180. Three of them add up, two of them and put it equal 180. It's wrong. One angle is 2x and one angle is x. You're adding the two of them and putting it equal 1. Three angles that must add up to 180. You call it r. And so to find r, you don't know any of these angles, you cannot know this one. So it's gonna be, this is 3x, you're gonna subtract it over here. So the r will be 180 minus 3x. This is the answer, right? Here, so that's angle AB is 2x. What is angle C? Same thing. Those different letters they use. Yes, is the answer. But these two add to 3x must be 180 minus 3x. All right, next one. All right, look at this one now. They're gonna change it up now. So come. This one says if formed by two equal sides, formed by two equal sides in an isosceles where PQR angle P is X. What is the angle Q or R? The answer. Look again. If the angle P, we about it. If the angle P formed by two equal sides, so see there, two equal sides, angle P, right? In an isosceles triangle, where angle PQR, triangle PQR, where the angle of P is X, so this angle is X, and it is PR. Question is, what is the angle equal? Why are they equal? So these two sides, C is the answer. Equal is 180 minus X divided by 2. So that is the answer right there. Very good? All right.
No. Okay, so unto 180.
So see here, X plus 2 theta equals 180. So first you get 2 theta equals 180 X. You have to divide by the 2. Divide by the 2. So the theta equals minus X over 2. See now? All right, next one down here now. Angle A is X, and angle A and angle B are supplementary. What is the size of angle B? If angle A and angle B are supplementary, 180 minus, because supplementary means that they add to 180 degrees. So if one is X, one has to be 180 minus X, right? So them change the word to complementary. So them say complementary. Then to be this one will be the answer, don't it? So supplementary means that they add to 180. Remember now that if they go and change the word supplement to complementary, then this is going to say if complementary. Then this is going to be the answer right? This one. Complementary means that they add to 90 degrees. That's what complementary means, right? They'll give us this diagram, depression, stop talking. It said that's the angle of the, it says the angle of depression of X from 30 to 35 degrees. That's what this angle is, 35 degrees. Remember, the angle between horizontal and down. That's why this is the 35 degrees. So the pressure from up here equal elevation looking up from the other end, right? So inside here, so it's also 35 degrees. And angles are equal, just the same, right? So is asking us now, if 12 meters right here, what is the height? Y, let's call YZX, or just YZ. This side is YZ. Your YZ. Which one of them going to give you the YZ? How do you find YZ if you know this angle in here? Because you have to transpose this angle and put it in there now. But angle also help you. You want it inside the triangle. So the equivalent triangle is this one. So talk to me now. This side is 12. We're going to use. Which trigger? Which trigger? We're not going to use cos. I don't know the hypotenuse. You know, if you use sine or cos, must be involved. That's this question. You want the opposite and you know the adjacent. Opposite and adjacent. The hypotenuse don't play a part in this question. So all the answer them with the sine and the cos. Because if the sine and the cos involved, sine and cos involved, when I put the hypotenuse not involved at all, I don't. So it has to be tan. Tan one is the answer. See, tan of 35 degrees will be equal to the opposite side YZ that you're trying to find over the adjacent of 12 over adjacent. Take the 12 and multiply it up here. You get the YZ. 12 times the tan of 35, which is the last one down here. Can't be the sine one or can't be the cos one, but I have not involved at all. I'm not involved in the calculation. You don't know it, it's not involved. So it must be contribution used. All right. Same question again, but this time they put the 12 on that side now. So you say, well, you must not sort of change it. So the question now is, question again, and y is 12 from z. I know they're asking us, this is the xy we want now, xy. I don't know. Transfer the thing inside here again and put this as 35 degrees. Answer they're doing. If you realize also that, because look, if you're working with this 35, pay attention now, guys, and learn something. Learn something from this. Working with this angle, right? And trying to find this. Again, the hypotenuse, I can't use sine, right? You don't have it, you don't know it. Sine, not, you can't use sine and you can't use cos. The two sides are the opposite and adjacent. You must use working with this angle of 35 degrees. Look, the tan of 35 degrees. Opposite side of 12 over the adjacent side of xy, don't it? So you take the xy and multiply it up tan 35 and divide it under here, so right? You'll be looking to get xy 12 over the tan of 35 degrees. But this is not there. That answer is not there, don't it? Something wrong with the question, but no. So it means that the question is using this angle up here, so. So if you're working that angle, take off that one there and do it with that angle, let me do it in blue. Let's put this angle up here so in blue. This is 55. But that's why this is 55 degrees up to 90, don't it?
No. Oh.
Or this is 90. But this is horizontal and not vertical. So this angle is 50. This becomes the opposite. And so if you go tan of the 50 blue now, it becomes the opposite over the adjacent. This becomes the adjacent over 12. So you take the 12 and multiply it up here. And so the xy would be 12, which is this answer. Right? It allows us to, should I show you that?
Sir, you lost me. All right, I understand how you get the 5 degrees because angling at 180 degrees, and you already have 190-degree angle down here. And
all right, ready. You want to know we get this now. So this side to this angle is the opposite side, adjacent side. So the tan of 55, you're working with this angle, it becomes the opposite, which is the xy. over adjacent. Part,
Yes.
find the xy and multiply it up here. See there, so the xy would now be equal to, hold on. Equal to, take the 12 and multiply it up here. You're gonna get this. So xy equals 12 tan of 55, which is this answer right here. So see that?
Yes, yes.
So that's the answer that you're looking for.
Okay.
So when you don't work with 35, recognize that you can also do the calculation with this angle, this one. And so they change the question and put that answer with the 55. But then it allows us to learn something. Right? And if more things to know, the better. Watch this now. Good to know. Good to know. Tan of an angle is equal to 1 over the tan of that angle. That's the relationship for tan. That's something that's good to know. So for example, 30 degrees equals 1 over the tan 30 degrees. When them two angles add up to, you can try it on the calculator if you want. The tan of 30 degrees is 1 over the tan of these. So when I was right here a while ago, where is it? When I was right here, and I got this. You can know that 1 over the 35 becomes the tan of 55. But forget about that. I'm not confused. Forget about that. Just know, say if you don't get to do this angle, you can work with this one up here, all right? So if you try to the question and you get this, and you don't see that, it's okay. Say angle the 55 here. You put the 55 up here and you work it. That's all right? Don't work with the angle in red, try with the angle in blue. Cool? Simple as that. All right, don't use it now. Same question, but to change the angle to 30 and change the side to 10. Same question. And this one asks you now again for the YZ up here. Which one is it? 10 and 30. So if you work it out again, this is the YZ that you want up here. You're going to transpose it here, 30 degrees down here. So tan of 30 degrees equals the opposite side of YZ of 10. Take the 10 and multiply it up here. So again, you're going to get the YZ of 30 degrees. So it is the answer this time. All right.
Yes.
This one now. Do this one for me. This one, X down here and Y up here. Which trig ratio is 4 over 8? Note that the 4 is this side, the 8 is the hypotenuse. Watch this now. If you're working with this angle, then this is the opposite.
Yes.
This is the hypotenuse every time, right? Hypotenuse can't change.
Yeah.
If you're working with this angle,
that would be fine.
This 4 is the adjacent, don't it?
Yeah.
But no. So this now, this is 4 over 8. Which trig ratio is it? Equal. Which trig ratio? Is the sine of x? Is it the tan of y? Is it the cos of? Which one is it? Huh? Man, just write for each of them without me and see which one give it that. Stop it talking. Just write what this would have been. In fact, it can't be the tan. It can't be none of them with the tan, don't it? Don't it? So it's either this one or this one. You still have been, don't it? Huh? Because using the x, it's gonna be this one will be 4 over x. So it has to be that this one is the answer. See that? Cos would be over the hypotenuse. What other answer could it be? What other answer could it be? What other answer? Little girls, I'm talking. So which other angle could it be under if it was y? Which other terms of y could it be? Could have as well. So they can change the question and put cos y. Because cos will be over hypotenuse. So the answer equal 4 over 8. But those are cos y is not paper, they can put cos y and that will be the answer. Good? All right. Next question. Triangle ABC, angle BA 30 degrees as you can see, and that's a hypotenuse. The length of BC is what? BC is this side of one. BC, this side, BC. What are you use? Which trig ratio you're gonna use? I'm gonna use this side because it's opposite and hypotenuse. That's all. To the 30 degrees. Good. And if it's then it could work with the 60 degrees up here, so don't it? And see one of those answers is correct as well. See, get me? Let's try the sine of 30 first. 30 degrees equal to BC over the hypotenuse of, say the 40 multiplied up here would be 40 sine of 30. And that is there. See that? Could have also been, let me put in a different angle in red. This 60 up here, the two series 60 up here, it will be the cos is equals BC. So take the 40 and multiply it up here. The BC also be 40 for the answer, and it's correct. You see that? What is that? All right, good. Next question up here. So AC and a straight line intersecting at B. What's the measure of angle BABE? ABE. This angle over here, so they want. What that angle equal to?
Angle on a straight line are 180 minus 58.
122. It will be 180 minus 58 degrees. 122 degrees, right? But good. So what I'm asking for this angle right here, so instead, this one. What would that one be? Huh? Vertical opposite. Vertical. So it will be 58 if they wanted that one. Huh? Yeah, man. Total angle around a point is always 360. For this one, which I've seen them ask for this one in other questions on the same diagram, it will be equal to 58. All right? Our opposite angles. All right. This one angles are equal. See, you know, which are the same diagram, which of the angles are equal. So let's see. Let's see. D, test them out. Huh? D, let's test it. A, B, D up here, so D, E, C, B, yes, that's that. Good. Vertical opposite, right? So it's a bit D down. Right. Alrighty. Yeah. This one says a plane is flying in a direction of 0 and changes course in a clockwise direction 235 degrees. So the new direction is 1 is. I want to say 9. If we're going at 0, it turns to an angle of 90. You want to say? All right, let's look at it. So like the plane going so on a bearing of 45 degrees here. So this angle is agreed. Then that's the north line. It's now going on a bearing of 135 degrees, right? So 135. Where this angle now is 135 plus 90 more, 135 degrees. 135 degrees. So see here now to the turn. And it has turned this way. True is this angle, that's a turn. That is 90 degrees. Everybody say that. But I go to that, it has turned to an angle of 90 degrees. Next question. Down here. As due east from A to north. Remember the word due simply means if it says 8 kilometers due east, means that it's, then it turns and it goes due north, means that it's traveling 6 kilometers towards the north. Sense the path. Is it this one? This one? This one?
No.
Question says it's going 8 kilometers due east. So you go 8 kilometers east and one. Why no? Because it's a 6. Because A to B and then so B to C, don't it? Yeah, and then 6 kilometers north, right?
Yeah.
Good. No, because this is south, don't it?
Yeah.
Good. So another question can change a word to south. Just change a word to south. And the answer will be C. So go swat in the question. And they can change around these two numbers. Make this be, and make this be 8. Just like that. Changes to 8. And then the answer will be this one. See that? So guys, careful. Careful. Simple changes. The questions are surveyor set up an instrument to give us all those dimensions. An estimate of the height of the building by calculating which one of these. And give you the height of the building. Overall height of the building is here. That height of the building is 1.6 plus the height of your stuff. Which one of them give you that? Huh? Plus the height in this triangle there. If the two over answer is correct.
One of them top.
Okay, you cannot use just
Elimination.
below height.
Right. 1.2.
Don't it? And it can't be that one here because it's that and you don't know the hypotenuse.
Exactly.
So this is 12. And then you want this, it has to be the last one with the tan. I think an exam paper work out, Okay, it's a process of elimination,
Okay, so I found.
But let's height, which is 1.6 plus this x. What I'm working in this side is 12. So means the right side 12 to across here. So 12 sides involved, right? So to get the x, we would say the tan equal the opposite side x. The 12 and multiply it up here will be equal to 12 tan of 40. 1.6 40. See there? 1.6 plus 12 tan of 40. So that's the last. Everything after we work, so we can just use and some common sense. Get them. Because one would have to involve the hypotenuse in the calculation because we don't need it and we don't know it. So it's nothing. All right. We are done. Yep. So we have done 74 pages of work. Finish. Sorry, all of it. All of this. We do this over how many days? We took 5 days. This thing. We did what? We did Saturday. We did yeah. From tomorrow. All righty.